Well, babe, you're officially a mom.
And you're officially a dad.
So my wife, Angela, is definitely my favorite blogger and YouTuber extraordinaire, and she's a pretty amazing wife, I must add.
And my guess is that a lot of you may have seen my husband Matt on TV or in the movies, Wyatt from Timeless, Liam from 90210, anyone? Chicago from Pitch Perfect 3. I mean, he's bringing the sexy.
All right. So if you guys didn't know, Angela and I created a podcast called Hello Bump to chronicle our journey as expecting first-time parents.
We really just started it for something for us to look back on, but we ended up really loving our weekly chat.
Yeah, so much so that we couldn't stop there. I mean, now is the fun part, right? Now is the payoff for the 9 months of pregnancy. Now is where our life begins.
We have a brand new, beautiful baby girl, and we are so in love.
And we want you guys to come on this new journey with us of figuring out, frankly, how to raise this little thing.
We know it's going to be tough at times, but we also know the rewards are great.
We're going to be chatting week to week about the joys and the struggles of learning how to do this parenting thing.
I'm pretty sure we're going to mess up a lot.
But from every mistake comes a lesson that we can pass on to you. So join us in this wild ride as we undertake our newest challenge, parenthood.
Hello, baby.
Allo. Hello, baby listeners.
What accent is that?
Hello. I've got a friend. His name is James Arnold Taylor. He's got a podcast. It's called Talking to Myself. And he's got a character. He's a voice actor. All his characters are him. And he's got a character on there that comes on his podcast and goes, hello. That just reminded me of that. So I figured I'd share that. Go and check out his podcast.
It sounds like a Star Wars character for sure.
It kind of does. It sounds like Watto. Do you know who Watto is? I'll be real proud if you know.
Is that a Clone Wars character?
No.
Then no, I don't.
Andy. You know, he's the flying.
I'm sorry.
Oh, bummer. Speaking of Star Wars, just got back from Chicago, and I did a Star Wars convention over there.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, pause. We'll just go ahead and say, welcome to Hello Baby real quick before I get into that. My name's Matt Lanter. This is my wife, Angela Lanter.
Mm-hmm.
She's next to me. We're in our home studio, Hello Baby Studios. And what is the reason that we have this podcast? Well, we have a nearly 16-month-old baby girl. And this podcast is mostly about raising her and things that we're experiencing and things that we are going through in response to having the kid, the spawn.
The spawn? That sounds really terrible.
Our spawn.
That sounds terrible.
So anyhow, this is Hello Baby. Welcome to the podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Thanks for clicking. Thanks for downloading. We hope you get a little something out of it. But that's who we are, and that's what this podcast is about. So there you go. I spent this past weekend in Chicago, had a Star Wars convention, because we talked about Star Wars for a second.
Yep.
And got to hang out and do the Star Wars thing. You know, I'm a huge fan of Star Wars. Also, I work on Star Wars, the Clone Wars. I've been the voice of Anakin for, nearly like 12 years now. We have done all sorts of stuff in the Star Wars universe, events-wise. We've traveled the nation doing Star Wars events. Typically, Angela goes with me. Didn't this time. We'll talk all about this at a later date. But, had a blast, and that was fun. And
I wish I would have gotten to go, but
I do
the
too.
timing just... It's the first time that I've missed celebration with you since we've been together.
Yeah, it's a big Comic-Con just for Star Wars. I mean, I'm talking like 30,000 people. They rented the Chicago Convention Center, and then the entire floor is all Star Wars stuff. I'm talking everything. I mean, there are people. I had posted on my Instagram. There's people getting tattoos, and I don't mean just like one guy with a needle, you know, and going at people. Like, there's an entire section of the convention floor dedicated to tattoos. Did you see that when I posted it?
I didn't see that.
I mean, there's got to be...
But I've seen it in the past.
There's got to be 6 to 8 artists maybe working at Star Wars.
It's crazy.
Like on Star Wars tattoos. There are people that get married at Star Wars conventions, dressed up, you know, cosplaying. I don't know if you guys know what cosplaying is. That's where you dress up as a character. I feel like I've gotten myself way too deep into this conversation now and realized that I'm in over my head. You know, like a lot of our listeners might not really know the extent of Star Wars, but there's so much to talk about. Star Wars. Maybe we should do a Star Wars podcast.
Maybe.
We should compete with some of these other guys out there. Anyway, that's where I was. That's what I was doing. Had a blast. But that's, I have no idea why I even started talking about any of that stuff.
I don't remember why you even brought it up.
Nope. No clue.
Oh, because you said James Arnold Taylor did the voice.
I did.
And then you got into Chicago.
I did.
That's why.
That's why.
Yeah.
But anyway, check out his podcast, Talking to Myself. Very, very funny.
Yeah.
Hello. Okay. Today on the podcast, we thought we would chat about first steps. Because, drum roll please, we had our first steps.
Yesterday. Easter Sunday.
Yeah, that's right. Easter Sunday.
That's pretty exciting. And she didn't take off running or walking like I thought she would, but she's definitely getting up and taking a few steps here and there.
Yeah. So we're going to talk a little bit about it, and we'll just jump into things. I want to say a disclaimer right now, even before we get going here, that we're not done with the postpartum, post-weaning depression thing. There's been some things going on.
Which is why I've been pretty quiet still on social media.
Things have gotten worse before they've gotten better. But we decided to take a break from that this week, possibly talk about that next week. So we will be talking a lot more about the postpartum, post-weaning depression because it's really affected our household. And but we think we're going to get to that next week. But anyhow, this week we're talking about first steps. Let's go ahead and just jump into that intro music, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right. Hey, good people. I know I've talked about this before, but I'm going to tell you about it again because Angela loves when I smell good.
That's right.
And with Scentbird.com, they keep me smelling good month after month with all different types of stuff. I love Scentbird.com. I have actually ordered like 4 different colognes, and I love getting to sample new stuff, different stuff, wearing different things. Matter of fact, I'm going to spray some Malin and Goat's Moroccan Fig on right now. That's nice. Scentbird is a luxury fragrance subscription service. You can mix things up. It's a new way for you to discover colognes or perfumes without buying the entire bottle. I do that all the time, and then it sits for a year. Or it's just I smell the exact same every day for a long time. You can try new brands. They've got 450 designer brands to choose from, cologne and perfume. We're talking Gucci, Kenneth Cole, Burberry, Prada, you name it. And you get a 30-day supply. It's 120 sprays. That's enough to apply more than 4 times a day for a month. I don't know anyone who's applying 4 times a day, but whatever. Anyhow, I highly suggest it. Go and check it out. I think your wife or your husband might really like it. Because Angela does, don't you, babe?
I do.
Go over to scentbird.com/baby. Use our code BABY for 50% off your first month. Again, that is scentbird.com. That's SCENTBIRD.com/baby for you to try your first cologne or perfume for just $7.50. Sign on. Smell amazing. And we're back officially. Hey, I like to do my current events. I think they're fun. Seems I've lost my co-host.
No, you haven't. I thought that you were following up with that.
She's over there typing on her phone. I got to tell you guys, it is real hard to have a co-host on this podcast. That's why I talk the majority of the time.
That is not true.
Like, what business do I have
true.
talking?
No.
But mostly, my wife just sits there on the computer or her phone and hacks away.
That is not true. That's not true. Go on with your current events.
What do you have right in front of you right now?
An article about baby's first steps.
Your computer and your phone.
Yes.
All right. Whatever. Fine. Well, let's go ahead and give you some current events, shall we? I think I'm going to stick in some music here and cue this music now.
Current events.
Okay. Oh, boy. So, I thought this was an interesting one.
Let's hear it.
Frontier Airlines. We're about to travel, I think, with our kid long distance traveling is a huge, huge topic here. Well, got this off of people.com.
Okay.
The headline says kids flying alone put in a hotel room with a stranger after flight is delayed overnight.
What?
Yeah. Frontier Airlines is under fire for the way they handled 2 unaccompanied minors after the flight was diverted. This guy talked to the Today Show. A father, his 7-year-old and a 9-year-old were traveling without their parents on Frontier Airlines from Des Moines to Orlando. I don't know what this is from last year. I don't know why this is just. Well, this is actually an old article. I don't know how I found this, but anyway, this is last year then. But still newsworthy. When severe weather caused the plane to be diverted to Atlanta. So I guess the airline made the decision to put the children in a hotel room in a Holiday Inn with 4 other unaccompanied minors and an airline employee. They split up the girls and the boys. And so what? There was, 6, 7 boys in one hotel room with an employee and then the girls in another hotel room. The father said he called the Frontier gate agents so many times. They weren't picking up. They took the kids to a Holiday Inn near the airport at around 2 a.m. They were put into the airline employee's personal vehicle, no booster seats. The kids were scared.
That's terrible.
Nervous, frightened. Yeah, so, and I guess the kid had to borrow another child's cell phone to keep his parents updated. When I read this, by the way, I was like, we have to teach our kid to memorize cell phone numbers.
Yeah.
Like, that's important.
Yeah, that is important.
So, the father was also really, really upset that Frontier Airlines didn't even contact the parents. That the kid had to call them from another kid's cell phone.
Crazy.
They're pretty ticked about that.
I mean, I would be furious.
So, Frontier was kind of defending their actions, saying, they were cared for. They were put into a hotel room. They were given food. They were always accompanied by an adult. We tried to contact the parents. Now, they said they tried. And they just said no one knew what to do. The policies and procedures taking children off airport premises around 4 a.m. Like, what do you do? So Frontier said that standard procedure. And Frontier saying that we didn't hear from the parents. First time we heard about complaints was from their lawyers, the family's lawyers. I don't know. I mean, what do you think? What do you think about that? It is awful, but on the other hand, what are they supposed to do in that scenario?
I would think a representative from the airline would have to be in an adjoining room.
Well, they were.
That's an adjoining room? I said the same room.
Well, the same room, I think, yeah.
Adjoining.
Well, you can't. I mean, can you leave a 7-year-old kid in a room by herself in a strange city in the dark? I mean, you can't do that either.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
I guess what's in question here is either like I don't know. I guess the family's just saying like you needed to call us ASAP, and the Frontier is saying we did. They're saying they didn't. They had no idea. But that is a tough situation.
I don't even know how to remedy that.
And that's a whole nother thing. I guess putting your kid on a flight at like 7 years old. I mean, sometimes things have to be done. You know, 'cause who knows?
I
the
understand that.
circumstances.
I personally couldn't do that.
Yeah, that'd be tough, right?
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
Yeah. Anyway, that happened. Do what you will with that story. Hey, let's talk about some parents that are winning at life and winning at parenting. Chip and Joanna Gaines. They are doing everything right. I mean, they're what they got like a multi-billion-dollar empire now.
Uh-huh.
They're starting their own network. They got farms out the wazoo. They got TV shows. They got kids out the wazoo. Anyhow, Joanna Gaines posted a picture on Easter of her youngest baby playing in a carrot patch. Presumably, it's their own farm, their own carrot patch.
I'm sure.
First of all, that's cool to have your own farm, your own carrot patch.
That is so cool.
How appropriate for your kid to be playing in a carrot patch on
Easter
Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So the pictures are cute. You guys should go on and check it out. He's playing with, and I'm sure they're organic too. I'm sure it's all healthy and organic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, good for them.
I want to have a garden so bad.
You know, the grass is always greener, but they seem like they got a pretty cool life.
They do. They really do.
I'm not saying ours isn't. Ours is awesome, but it's pretty cool.
I just wish that I didn't have a black thumb.
Angela kills everything that she tries to keep alive.
Everything.
Excluding babies. She's...
Oh, I'm good with babies and dogs. It's
Yeah.
just greenery.
Yeah, greenery.
Mm-hmm.
What else do we have here? We got one. We got another. I pulled something else. I thought I did. Oh, it's on my phone. Give me a quick tick here, and I'm going to pull this up. It's Kristen Cavallari.
Oh, your girl.
Cavallari? Why is she my girl?
Because you like Very Cavallari.
No, I don't like the show. What I've watched the show a couple of times because I wanted to see Nashville. If you guys listen to our podcast, you guys know that we were possibly considering making a move or having a place in another city outside of LA, one of which is Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? I want to see Nashville. I've never been. So I know Kristen Cavallari. Is it Cavallari or Cavallari?
Cavallari, I think.
Okay. Kristen Cavallari. I think you're right, because the show is called Very Cavallari.
Yeah.
And Very Cavallari wouldn't make a whole lot of sense.
No.
Anyhow, I watched for Nashville. Haven't seen every episode. Don't let Angela think that I'm this huge...
Of Very Cavallari or of Nashville?
Very Cavallari.
Oh, because we are watching Nashville as well.
We are, but I'm getting a little fed up with it.
Yeah, we're in season 5, so all of you Nashvillers out there who knows the huge bomb that gets dropped in season 5, neither one of us know if we want to continue watching now. Like, it's like that.
Yeah. So Kristen Cavallari, and this was on Fox News. I have no idea why this was on Fox News. But she was reacting to fans' responses on Jay Cutler unclogging her milk ducts. And she just kind of said, you cannot judge a person until you have had clogged milk ducts and how that feels.
So what did he do? Just squeeze her boobs?
Supposedly, he sucked like he has never sucked before.
Would you do that for me?
I mashed your boobs with my hands.
I know, but would you suck them?
I mean, I guess. I mean, let's not get graphic here, but...
You know what I mean, like to get the
it's
milk
not
out.
like that would be a foreign thing happening.
You know what I mean,
You know
though.
what I'm saying?
But you didn't want to drink my breast milk.
I did not want to drink your breast milk, but I mean, man, if you're in horrible, horrible pain and you don't want to drink it, you just spit it out.
Yeah.
Why are you humming?
Because I don't understand it, why he didn't just like squeeze them, why he had to suck them.
Yeah, that I don't know. I didn't.
If it was a sucking situation, why didn't they just use a breast pump?
I don't know. I didn't honestly read the whole article. I just saw the headline. I was like, that's an interesting one to talk about on the podcast.
I have too many questions that are unanswered, you know, like.
Sure.
I feel like you a little bit left me hanging there.
Sorry, do you want me to look it up here?
No.
Okay.
Let's talk about today's topic at hand.
All right. If you or you know anyone that suffers from migraines out there, please listen up. This could really, really help you out. If you've had one, you know they are the absolute worst, aren't they?
The worst.
Angela gets them. Matter of fact, she's had a bit of a recent experience with some migraines, which we will talk about on the next podcast probably. But
they knocked me for a loop.
Yeah, and I've had a couple of them, and man, they are no fun. Well, now it's a little easier to treat your migraine from the comfort of your own home, thanks to Cove. You get treated at home. Cove starts out with a simple consultation by a licensed physician, then the prescription, and then they determine what is best and sent directly to your door. What I love about Cove is it's personalized, because migraines are a personal thing. They affect everyone differently, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
I get totally different symptoms than you do.
Exactly. Then you get different stuff than my mom gets. I
Yeah.
mean, my mom gets the nausea. You get the auras. And
Yeah.
they educate you. Cove breaks down everything you need to know about migraines and treatment. It's doctor supervised, and it's FDA approved medication that Cove sends.
It's so nice.
All migraine medication prescribed by the doctors is, again, FDA approved. So if you suffer from migraines, the last thing you need is to have to wait to see your doctor. With Cove, there's finally a way to get the help that you need when you need it. And when you use our special link, you'll get your first month of treatment for free. Just go to cove.com. I'm sorry, withcove.com/hellobaby. That's withcove.com/hellobaby. 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 Okay. Yep. Moving on.
Yeah. We're talking about first steps because we got our first steps happening yesterday on Easter Sunday. Kenny Girl is, what's the date? She's just a couple of days away. Well, about a week away from being 16 months. So in my opinion, that's a little bit of a late bloomer to not be walking.
She is a late bloomer. She's a late bloomer on everything.
Yeah, she really is.
And to be honest, it's a little bit concerning.
Yeah, I mean, because we're first timers here. So,
I mean, should we be concerned? All you people out there, do you want to chime in? Should we be concerned that she is a late bloomer? I mean, look, she was a late bloomer on her teeth, but she got them. We felt like she was late crawling, but she did.
mm-hmm.
And
Late with words.
Late with words. And she's starting to say, we did a first word thing the other day,
Mm-hmm.
but still not many.
Mm-mm.
I mean, she's saying
two
up.
words. She's up and dada, and that's it.
But even dada.
She knows dada for
You think
sure.
so?
Oh, 100% she knows dada.
I do.
She does not say mama.
She doesn't. I do read everywhere that they understand many, many more words than they say. And I do think that is the case.
Oh, she 100% does. And she's shaking her head no now, too.
She is?
She did it to me this morning.
Why? How? In response to what?
She's at the threshold of the back door. And I said, are you going outside? And shook her head.
Because she wasn't going outside?
Yeah.
She was like, no, I'm not going. I'm just in there.
Yeah.
Our baby loves to play with doors.
Yeah, that's like her number one toy is a door.
Yep. She just like, you can get right up on the mic there, babe.
I am on the mic. What do you mean?
Sorry. I thought you were far away.
No, I was trying to fix my necklace.
Gotcha. She loves playing with doors. She just opens and closes doors. Like if you give the kid a door, you know that kid's book, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie?
Mm-hmm.
Well, with her, it's like if you give MacKenlee a door.
Yeah, that's accurate. She loves them so much that my mom cleaned out one of the kitchen cabinets on the lower because we put the child safety locks, the magnetic ones that you have to have the tool to open,
Mm-hmm.
and she cleaned out one of them and filled it full of like all of her play kitchen toys, and so that's her cabinet, and she loves it. And but the problem is that it's got the little lock on it. So she just opens it and then hits the lock and then locks herself out of it immediately.
Yeah, because it's kind of like a button thing, right? Like once you open the cabinet, the baby security thing, you switch a little switch to either leave it permanently unlocked or permanently locked.
Mm-hmm.
I should say not permanently, but engaged, I should say, to where you have to use the little magnet key. And she loves buttons too. So she'll get in there and she'll slide that little button switch and turn it back to locked. And she's locking herself out of her own cabinet.
Yep. She's not just a door kid. She's a button kid. Any button. And she's also a tinkerer.
Yes.
Like.
She loves tinkering.
Yes. If she has a toy like table, she wants to get under the table and look up. She wants to crawl under everything. We go to the park and there are those what are those toys called? Like that look like horses or fire engines that you sit in and they go back and forth.
I have no idea what they're called. They're
like on a bungee thing.
But no, like a large spring.
Yeah, they're on a spring.
And they just kind of flop back and forth.
She's delighted when she sees them, but she doesn't want to get on them. Instead, she wants to take a stick over and put the stick inside of all of the screws. Like she's like putting it together.
Yeah.
She's a tinkerer, just like her daddy.
Yeah.
Like you love to put stuff together and work with your hands, and she's clearly going to be that way too.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy how much she's already like her little personality is forming, and like you can kind of see that stuff coming out.
Yeah.
So it's been a concern for both of us about just developmental stuff, because this is our first rodeo, and the only thing we have to go on is what our parents tell us that we did, or our friends tell us that their kids did. Who
our friends, like, they're children that are roughly the same age, and by roughly, I mean within a few weeks, seem to be way more developed than our child, as far as like walking and doing things and responding. And yeah, it's, I don't know.
And I don't really know what the reason for that is.
Is it because we baby her too much? Is it because typically like there are 3 adults around? Is that why?
I don't know. But I took my first steps and I was an only child when I was on my first birthday.
Wow.
You took your first steps and you were a second child. I think your mom told me between 12 and 13 months.
Okay.
So I just expected those timelines for her as well. So waiting to 15 months was a little bit surprising. She's very smart though. Like the things that she does and the things that she comes up with, and like I'll see her do things and I'm like, okay, so she's very smart. I kind of just think that she's lazy.
She might be a little lazy.
I think that's what it is.
It's also, in my opinion, a little hard to compare to someone, or I mean, not someone, like another kid who has a sibling, because,
I know.
or is very, or a child who is in daycare and things like that, which our daughter is not.
Yeah.
So she doesn't really see many other kids. I mean, except when she goes to the playground, or we take her to like an indoor jungle gym type place.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, she doesn't have like a whole lot of social interaction with other kids,
Mm-hmm.
which we need to figure out a way to get her more of that.
Mm-hmm. I think that would help a lot.
Right. So I guess, yeah, point being is that she doesn't have that influence to look at a big sister or a big brother and say like, oh, look, they're walking and they're taking the square and putting it into the, whatever. So she doesn't have that guidance, which I do think would make a big difference. But look, I'm not making total excuses here because we also have friends that are single, not single. Their parent, like they only have one kid, that one child, and they're walking too. So I don't know.
The thing is that every baby's different, and that's something that we have to remind ourselves all the time. So what I did was I hopped online and I wanted to look up some basic guidelines for baby's first steps. And I came across an article from familydoctor.org, and this is their path to well-being. It says learning to sit independently happens around 6 months old. She was on par for that. Crawling happens between 6 to 9 months old. She was late for that. Pulling up to stand is around 9 months old, also late to that. Holding on to furniture to take a few steps around 9 to 12 months. I think she was doing that around her birthday, pulling up to furniture.
I don't remember. I'm sure it's in the podcast. She has been doing that for quite a long time. I mean, look, she's getting up on the couch and everything now by herself.
She climbs like crazy.
She climbs down it. She knows to put her legs down first and she slides down on her belly. There's a lot of things she is doing. She's just not doing walking.
Yeah. And then walking independently, which is 1 or 2 steps before falling, it happens typically between 11 and 13 months or possibly later, it says. So we fall into that or possibly later.
Well, I literally just Googled guidelines for babies' first steps here on my own while you were doing that. And the first article that does come up is from babycenter.com.
Mm-hmm.
And it does say, don't worry if your child takes a little longer. Well, I'm sorry, I should read the first sentence prior. Most babies take their first steps somewhere between 9 and 12 months and are walking well by the time they're 14 or 15 months. Don't worry if your child takes a little longer, though. Some perfectly normal children don't walk until they're 16 or 17 months old.
Yeah, I'm looking at what to expect. Remember, we had their app when we were pregnant. And it says here, most children don't take their first independent steps until well after their first birthdays, around month 14 on average. Although it's not unusual for them to start as late as 18 months or in some cases as early as 7 months. Our friend Justin was over last night and he told me he was fully walking at 10 months old.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
10 months.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, she's really stretching this out for everything she's got. You know what I mean? Like she's going to be lazy until the very end.
Yeah. And the thing that we're coming up against now is how much to protect her when we can see that she's, going to take a tumble. And that's a really hard, it's a gray area because it's like she needs to know that what she's doing is going to have consequences. But at the same time, you don't want her to get hurt.
Oh, I can't. We talked about this yesterday. You were like, babe, you just got to let her. And I'm like, that doesn't compute in my brain. I see like a metal hinge nearby. I can't just let it happen. I mean, look, we're not literally talking about let her bash her head.
Yeah, no.
But Angela's kind of saying you got to because I said, am I too uptight with her? And she was like, yeah, a little bit. And I was like, I don't know how to not be uptight. Like, I don't know how to not worry that she's going to fall and smack her head.
Mm-hmm. The one thing that I had so many people give us advice on is to start putting her in walking shoes.
I literally just looked up this article.
Yeah. What did you read?
Well, so here's the thing. Go ahead and finish that thought, I guess.
Well, I bought her walking shoes back months ago, and they're just so hard to keep them on her feet. She just pulls them off. But yesterday, when she was doing all of her moving around, for the most part, she did have her walking shoes on.
So we think that possibly, one of the reasons that we can come up with why she could be a little delayed is because we tend to, every night she wears onesies. She wears the jammies with the footies attached and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of the times we end up just keeping her in her jammies like all day long. I feel like we've been a little better about it lately about changing her out, but at least until like lunchtime, usually she's got her onesie pajamas on with the footies and everything attached. And we're starting to wonder, especially if we just went through and got rid of a lot of pajamas because we realized they were getting too tight. And I'm sort of wondering, like, did the tight pajamas, or even if they're too loose now, and there's like extra material down there near her feet, is that preventing her from really getting a good grip and feeling the floor beneath her and like feeling the right feeling how to walk? So we're like kind of thinking, do we do this? Do we sort of delay this by keeping her in these onesies? And so lately we've been a lot more conscious in changing her into pants or shorts and either just giving her socks or bare feet or, like Angela mentioned, baby shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And they're actually, this article right here that I pulled up on parenting.com talks about the American Academy of Pediatrics talks about getting shoes for new walkers. And there's like 3 guidelines. One, shoes should be lightweight and flexible to support natural foot movement. 2, shoes should be made of leather or mesh to allow your baby's feet to breathe comfortably. And 3, shoes should have rubber soles for traction to prevent slipping or sliding. And then it gives a little selection of shoes here. One of them are moccasins, which we have.
I don't feel like those are good for walking at all, personally.
You don't
I feel like
think
they're
so?
slippery. I took her to Skechers and had them fit her in the cutest little Skechers walking shoes, and those seem to be the ones that she does best in because that's what they're meant for.
But the soles are pretty thick.
They are thick, but she seems to do pretty good in them.
Yeah. Okay.
I was reading on Baby Sparks there's a list here on how to encourage walking. One is don't rush it. Another one is allow plenty of time for practice. And it says keep her feet bare as much as possible. So it's like there's a lot of like contradictory information out there. And expose her to different walking surfaces. Learn how to walk on hard floors, grass, sand, mud, etc. It can help boost their balance and their coordination. That child does not like grass. She is my kid. She did not like grass.
She doesn't, but she was walking around in it today.
Was she?
Yeah. So Angela's talking about when she was a baby and her parents put her in grass, she would gag. I think we've mentioned that on the podcast before. But the grass would go in between her toes and
Yeah. She cries. She doesn't like the grass between her hands or her fingers or her toes.
here's somebody commenting on this article about the different shoes,
Mm-hmm.
and she's saying, my son would take off every single pair of shoes that I'd buy him, which included Nike, Vans, Converse, everything, until I gave this brand called Stride Right.
Oh, yeah. That's what my shoes when I was little were Stride Right.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of that brand.
Really? And they're big in Ohio.
Says, wow, he loved them and started walking with the shoes on. He looked happier and started walking way more.
I should totally buy her some. I wonder if we have them here in
Some
LA.
Stride Rights. Well, it says they're at Target.
Are they?
$20 at Target. They're on Amazon. There's a boys pair, $44. Those are the nice ones.
I'm looking up to see if there's actual stores. She needs to go in and get her foot measured is what she needs.
We just got a pair of, I ordered them on Amazon. What are they called?
Oh, there's one in Sherman Oaks. Beverly Hills, Santa Monica. They're all over the place.
Okay, great. We can check out one of those stores. Let's see.
It's not Stride Right stores. It's stores that sell Stride Right.
Well, like I said, I mean, Target and Amazon. Look, we just got some, they're a company called Native. You guys heard of these? We feel like we look around and we see all types of, what do you mean? All types of kids, all kinds of kids wearing these things. They're called, this brand called Native. And they sort of look like Converse Chucks, but they're like rubber or like gel,
Yeah.
kind of like a Croc might be.
Yeah.
And they've got holes in them. Foam, I guess, is the right. 100% ethylene vinyl acetate. If we have any, what's the word? The scientists that work with chemicals.
Chemist?
Yeah, if we've got any y'all listening out there, you know what that is. But anyway, it's a brand called Native. And they're slip-ons, and they're just rubber or whatever, and they seem like they can get dirty and washed and sandy and whatever, and it's all good. So we ordered some of those. Those are $35 and $45. By the way, what is the right price to pay for a kid's pair of shoes? $45 to me, I don't know. Is it just me?
That seems high.
It seems expensive.
Yeah, because they grow out of them so fast.
Yeah, in like 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but I don't know. Maybe they're not cheaper than that at all. I just don't know.
I don't know. This seems pretty expensive.
It's my first
to me.
rodeo. I don't know. I haven't bought a lot of kids' shoes before. So, anyhow, I mean, what else? Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about, Angela? I mean, we don't have anything big to talk about, really. It's just she took her first steps. We're trying to coax her to take more.
Mm-hmm.
We're encouraging it.
Mm-hmm.
She just does what she wants, though. I mean, if you guys have a kid, like they just sort of do their own thing. You can't really force them to walk. I mean, and she just seems much more comfortable crawling right now, obviously.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, when she wants to, she stands up on something and she'll take a couple of daredevil little steps, but that's it. I'm just trying to figure out how to encourage her to do it. I do wonder if we delayed her a bit with her walker because she spent so much time in her walker and then ended up on her tiptoes so much. I kind of do wonder if that, just delayed things a little bit. But overall, I mean, she's getting there. We're just having to work on words too. That's the next big thing is figuring out how to get her to talk more.
Yeah, we're working on words. And there was one other thing I was going to say. You know what? The thing about the walking thing is like, I want it. I'm encouraging it because I know it's part of her development, but I'm also like fearing it at the same time.
Yeah,
because once she starts walking, oh man, like right now we've gotten certain parts of our house baby-proofed, certain things baby-proofed, other things, she crawls over, we kind of can be with her. Once that kid gets on her feet and she starts taking off, oh my gosh, I feel like it's going to be open season in this house. I'm going to have to baby-proof every single corner, every single outlet, everything. And we have a pool. And we're freaked out about that right now. We think we're about to go away for a job. So we might not have to take care of that situation just yet. We might have to wait till we get back for that. But we got to start looking at doing all that stuff too.
Yeah. Just got a lot.
Got a lot.
Yep.
So if there's nothing else you got to add, I guess we can kind of wrap this one up. It's really a short episode today.
It is.
Just more about like, hey, she walked. It's a big milestone for us.
It is a big milestone for us.
So other than that, again, I think we're coming back probably next week with
a follow-up on the postpartum.
The postpartum. We've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll have a good amount of information to share at that point. I just needed another week to
process maybe.
And also see how I feel.
Yeah.
See how I feel. I'm not out of it yet, but I'm on my way. I said that last time, but this time I truly mean that.
Right.
So.
Anyhow, all right. We love you guys. Thanks for listening.
Yep.
Again, like we said, tune in next week. Go over and follow us on Instagram, Hello Baby Podcast. Follow myself at Matt Lanter. Follow Angela at Angela Lanter. If you follow her, you can find a lot more MacKenlee pictures and family photos and things like that. I do really bad about posting, but I'm going to try to get better. Anyhow.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening today. Sorry, I was going to say
you're just ready.
Off.
You're ready to be done.
No,
you're
I was going to sign off because I thought you were done. Sorry,
ahead,
I didn't mean to cut you off, babe.
No, man, I'm done. Go ahead, sign off.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening, and we will be back next week with a brand new episode of Hello Baby Podcast.